rooms and the artworks. And the artworks are all, it's a concept we have called borderless, where there's no borders between the artworks. So they flow between each other and the artworks move and are dynamic
Yeah,
over
we'll have
time.
more
So
on that later.
yeah.
That's so dope.
Anyways, yeah, so it's fun stuff.
All right, cool. So we're gonna get started, guys. Thanks for showing up. I have an intro music I thought would be cool.
Start up the phonograph.
All right. Welcome everyone to the June 10th call. All right, I'll show the agenda. Let's see this. Oh. Uh-oh. Now it's gonna cut the noise, unfortunately. Still figuring out. Oh no. So is that still working for you guys? The noise? No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Still trying to figure out how to like have audio to the calls. I can hear it, so maybe I gotta pause that. All right. So we have some news from Mark. We'll start with that. We're gonna jump into Picnic, some projects, showing some stuff off, some proposals, and then we're gonna go into the DAO updates. So Mark, do you want to just start with the project updates? You can share your screen if you want.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you mean like the NFT news?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Let me just share my screen. Okay.
And then maybe I can play the audio on top of this. I'm gonna try it.
You guys see my screen? Yeah. Cool. Sweet. So how much time do I have, Eric?
5
minutes. Okay. Let me try to compress this as much as I can. Yeah, this is all the news from the NFT space and also like the wider crypto space in general. These are all finely curated by me. Well, these are all things that I find that really stood out to me the past week. So first up, we got Beyond NFT. It's a new marketplace. What's interesting about this is that, they specialize in interactive NFTs, fully compatible with ERC 721 and ERC 1155. And let's see here. Yeah, this properly describes how your NFTs should work, where to find its code, its configuration, and its dependencies. The combination of all this makes its scarce, interactive art a reality. So I didn't really dig into the technical details of this, but I think just conceptually, interactive NFTs, I feel like that's something that, the space is moving towards. Next up, last week over in the Twitter space, there's this whole thing where, people are saying, oh, NFTs are dying. Gianni Sordis tweeted this little I guess like analytics, sort of like sarcastically responding to that whole thing that NFTs are dying. Of course, number 3 right here is Rarible. So yeah, NFTs are still, gaining momentum. There's still a lot of like adoption going on. And I think related to that, Consensus has released their reports on NFTs. You know, it's a pretty summarized report. Of course, I would link all of these links on to our Discord and also the newsletter. So from 52 million to 490 million. So it's 9x. 10% of NFTs. The NFTs are about 10% of global art marketplaces. It's pretty cool. And then next up would be Degen Data. So this is a website that tracks the analytics of different NFTs. You're seeing right here is crypto voxels. The different areas of crypto voxels right here. So it's pretty cool. You also have the CryptoPunks. It's got all of the different information of the CryptoPunks. So yeah, I mean, if you own one of these NFTs, I think this would be a good sort of like analytics to really just like flex your NFTs. Next up is Doki Doki, an NFT marketplace that specializes in gacha, like vending machines. If you've been to Japan, you probably see all of these vending machines. Um, let's click right here. So this one is made by Sushi. Deposit some ETH, 1x, 5x, 10x, and then spin, and then you would get one of these babies. Cool. And next up, Sotheby's, big art, traditional art auction house, has now a space in Decentraland. Um, Here is a little walkthrough of their space. It's a replica of their iconic London gallery. So, yeah, traditional art markets getting into the metaverse. That's pretty bullish to me. And then next up, Foundation NFT Marketplace has released the splits feature. So this is very useful for artists of different types, collaborators, musicians paying their producers, musicians collaborating with visual artists. This makes it easy for everyone to split the monies. NFT art. I think one artist that I've been really obsessed about is Mikola Dusenko. He specializes in pixel art, low poly 3D. This series right here, the cars, I'm a big fan of like JDM, like old school, like vintage Japanese cars. And so this really stood out to me. It's really cool. It's really like a good collectible also. And I found this thread of creative code art. It's a thread about generative artists in the NFT space. One artwork that stood out to me was this one by NFT Phoenix. And this one is created through sound and artificial intelligence. And the GAN, the AI, was pre-trained on 1,000 or 10,000 abstract artworks to create this piece. So it's pretty dope. Love the colors. And yeah, um, I have a few more. Should I continue, Eric? Does anyone have any comments or thoughts or cool? I shall continue. Genies. Genies is a marketplace where you can create your avatars. And now, they are uh, collaborating with a lot of like big influencers and mainstream artists. So you can create your avatar and then you could actually collect exclusive wearables as NFTs. And then you could also buy and sell them or trade in their marketplace. So yeah, a lot of potential here. Um, a lot of inspiration also. And then let's see here. The original Doge meme is now up for auction. It's in collaboration with Know Your Meme, Zora, and the owner, uh, Atsuko and Kabuchan. So this is the auction page. Very wholesome. You can now own a piece of internet meme history. And then, yeah, ENS, donates to Gitcoin. As we all know, Gitcoin is, system to fund, a lot of public goods. So I'm excited to see what they use this money for. And then this is a good read if you're interested in the cultural side of crypto. Um, there's also a download of the PDF. Um, Very interesting to me. And then I would say last but not the least, Paris Hilton joins Ethereum NFT project Origin as advisor. I don't know how to feel about this, but according to Paul Vera Dedekid, a partner at Pantera, he says, I think Paris Hilton will be a strong advisor for the Origin team. She brings entrepreneurial experience in addition to creator experience and media industry connections. So yeah, that's it for me for this week. And if you got some cool news to share, please hit me up.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, maybe I'll get Paris Hilton to start advising me. We'll see. All right. Yeah, so next up, we have who do we have? Actually, maybe we should talk about Picnic. Mark, do you want to stop sharing your screen?
Oh yeah, of course. Let's see here.
Gia, do you want to? Oh, sorry. Well, Gia Shan. Okay. Do you want to talk about Picnic, or do you want me to flash it or share the link?
Oh yeah. Hey everyone. Yeah. So we just want to try an experiment for this. This is the event page for today's call. So you can sign up and just register by connecting your wallet address, like your MetaMask account. And then after the event, you can come back here and claim a POAP badge. So just something really simple. And
yeah, so test it out.
Yeah, you can message me if you have any questions.
This is one of the teams that received a grant. They're working on these NFT events, and so yeah, just test it out in the link, sign up, check out the experience. They're working on some really cool stuff. POAP badge will be incoming after signing up.
Oh, Eric.
Okay, so now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, let me just stop the share. My bad. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so next up, we have two projects that are going to kind of just showcase what they've been working on. We have Cyber with Ryan. You here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Hey, let me see. Can you?
So like 5-10 minutes, just to kind of share what you've been working on.
Sure. Should I share my screen? I guess I'm gonna do a demo first. So basically, as I find a way to share my screen, we are one of the easiest way for people to exhibit their NFTs and 3D experiences. Our whole motto is that within 5 clicks, anyone can have a 3D experience they can share with the custom link. Are you guys seeing my screen right now?
I see some code.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I was working. Okay, so this is Cyber. I'm just gonna demo the product itself. So within a few clicks, you connect your MetaMask. Screen is a bit big. So this is an ape room we did for the apes. Let me try to create a new show. You can select from a few destinations we have. We don't speak in land like other platforms do. We speak in destinations. The idea is that we don't want to constrain people into a certain amount of land they can have, but rather let artists create diverse types of spaces for people to show their NFTs in. Those spaces themselves can be tokenized and sold, so that only like a certain amount of owners can show their art in them. But here are the options that are free and the one that I can get because I have an ape pass because I hold apes. Let's see with White Cube. So here, you're in the space. All you have to do is click on an artwork, add an NFT, create a link, copy it, and then you can share it with anyone and people can come and just like
Whoa, look at
walk
that.
around in your space. Then we also have custom destinations that are made by cool artists. I'll show you one exhibit that was made by a gallerist. So it's a new job we've seen on Cyber. So people who have managed to cop the Genesis destination that was the first drop have started being like operating as galleries, inviting artists into their spaces and making exhibitions. This one, for example, would be really, really cool with the Rarible DAO because we'd allow the Rarible protocol because we'd allow the curators of the spaces to basically maximize the assets they have in terms of they bought a destination, they're one of the only ones that can create shows in them, and they can get fees out of the assets that are sold from that destination. So this is an exhibit by Sabit. My computer, because of this screen recording, is a bit laggy, but yeah, you kind of see the picture. And yeah, we have like a few drops coming up for different artists that are going to make destinations. One of them I'm really excited about is Fuck Render, and like a bunch of different people. The idea is really to have, I mean, we love the metaverse, but we think it could have more diversity and more freedom for 3D artists to like create it. And the idea is that we're going to try to have like a very diverse, very different graphics per destination metaverse, and you'll be able to like basically be teleported from one chunk to the other. We're adding stuff like social, so people will be able to come in, speak to each other. Everything is coming. So we started with a base of easy way for artists and collectors to show their art. And we're like slowly and surely going into an actual metaverse. Yeah.
Very cool. Any questions for Ryan?
It's the first time, yeah, sorry, it's the first time I really demo my product like this. So I guess I don't know if I were clear or anything, but yeah.
No, super clear.
Okay.
Rayan, I'm just curious. Would this support audio too, like NFTs that have audio?
So we're actually doing it right now. The only thing I had was in terms of UX. I didn't know exactly how an audio without a video would be able to show. I completely agree that like audio should not be completely tied to video. We listen to music as a piece of art, as we look at an artwork as a visual experience. We don't need to mix them both. But in a 3D space, we need some way to like make people know that they have to walk all the way to there so that there's an audio that plays. And we actually found a little visual cool way to have like it's kind of the bars for frequencies. And this is coming up in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, so we also have support. Also have support for 3D models coming. So people who bought 3D models on HIC, or also we're cross-chain. So we allow people from Tezos and people from the Ethereum blockchain to show their art. And whether you bought 3D models on HIC or on like the Ethereum blockchain, you'll be able to import them, and it'll be cool to see what people make out of them. Because if they can import 3D models, they can remix the spaces they have in a way. They can add a certain floor if they want, a certain like a disco ball in the middle if they want. And we'll also have on site, so on this exact same dashboard, we'll have like a sidebar. So we're working with a few, I can't say exactly who, but a few really, really cool actors in the NFT space to make an artifacts collection where people will be able to import preview 3D models within the space. And if they like it, buy it gasless with Matic. So that's also something that's coming up.
I wanted to, sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, Ryan.
Hey, Jenny.
So on Mark's question, yeah, I have a piece that's like video. So when you walk up to it, the music starts playing, and it's actually really awesome because you get that immersive vibe for the piece. But I don't know if you were that clear to like let people know that the 3D spaces that On Cyber has, 3D designers will have the opportunity, I believe, Ryan, if I'm right, to like build out their own galleries or gallerists, their own spaces, which incidentally, we had the gentleman earlier who was talking about Jasper was talking about the Chinese or China, Asian, I'm not sure, space that he's creating. Like that could be like tied directly to the On Cyber virtual space, right? Like, and designed to match. And then you mentioned that you could sell the NFT of the space, right? Like the space itself would be able to be sold.
Yeah, so we have a minter. It's closed to the artists we invited in it because for the moment, we have one collection called Cyber Destinations. It's on OpenSea. Like people, so we initially dropped it for 0.11 Ether. It's sold out in 20 seconds, and then it's been trading at, the last sale was for 1 Ether, and like we only have one asset as part of this collection, but we'll have another. This is like kind of like Art Blocks has curated and like another more open collection. We also have this. We have this one collection that will have a specific artist that are invited, that we work with for a long time, that we make sure that the creative process is rigorous, and there's like a lot of thought behind it. And then we'll have another collection that's more utility based, has many more editions, will be sold for much cheaper, and is supposed to be something that is traded and exchanged. Yeah, so but anyway, like the work we've done until now is that we're making sure that any person who has 3D skills with any software, may it be, whether it's Blender, Cinema 4D, anything, can export their model, and that model can be used as an NFT destination that can be tokenized. If they want to, if they don't want to tokenize it, we can work with them to see if we can add it for free, the same way we did with the Bored Apes. We're working with hash masks now as well, and I think Gutter Cats is going to happen, but like a lot of collectible projects want to be part of it. And that, we do this for the community in the end. So like if they want to have something special for their community, it's good. It's a win-win because it brings people to understand how easy it is to create spaces on Cyber. But yeah, we can work out whether it's free or if it makes sense for the community or if it's tokenized.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. I'm sure there's some other questions and comments, a lot of interest here, but we'll have to move on. Thanks a lot. Really
Please.
exciting project. I think it would be, I've been talking to Ryan about like how we could work with the protocol. I think it would be a really, really good fit with what we're doing. So
yeah, and please, everyone, make sure if you have any questions or want to collab or anything, just talk to me on Discord. I'm really open.
All right, awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, next up, we have Barak and Jasper showcasing their projects that they've been working on. This is more of like just a project. They're doing something cool in the space. They wanted to share it with the community. So yeah, you got again, shorter the better, 5 minutes, and then some Q&A.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan, that was
Ryan, on
that's
Cyber is
awesome.
super cool. It's great to see.
Yeah. I think we
share my
can.
screen quickly.
Perfect. Yeah, so we're Strata Gallery, and we're kind of a new, we're kind of a gallery, but we're also kind of, as you see in my background, we're also interactive artists ourselves. So Brock and I both have worked in the interactive art space. We're kind of at that intersection between technology and art. And we recently just kicked off our first project for Strata Gallery, but we're really thinking about how to actually bring together physical and digital art, and also create new sort of interactive art experiences that leverage new possibilities from the blockchain. So this is our first project, and it's called The Whole Picture. And we're working with this amazing artist, Hector Falcone, who's created these canvases that, here he is up there. He has some nice interviews that we captured. But he created this concept called constructive modular extraction, which is basically with these canvases where he's carved holes in the canvases to reveal kind of layers beneath. And so how you position and how you move the canvases changes the dynamic of the art pieces and changes how you experience art. So it is interactive even in its physical sense. But what we're interested doing with Strata is actually working with artists to take kind of concepts that they have and extend them and evolve them and bring them and merge them with the digital space. So the digital and physical, they kind of complement and elevate each other. So with this project, it's an NFT project, and it's also interactive in that you don't know which canvases you're going to have as part of your final NFT. And what happens is we have a whole interactive art event where once you buy into the event, then through a combination of some choices that you make, as well as some chance, you sort of create this 4-layered piece that consists of these 4 unique canvases. So the process in this first project is kind of, there's a lot of pieces going on. We decided might as well be ambitious and kind of go all out. But the idea is really, how do we create interactive new experiences that are only possible via blockchain technology, and then work with artists to kind of show them the potential of blockchain technology and how we can create new interactive dynamic pieces that really engage and take down the barriers between kind of the audience and the owners as well as the artist. So this is a really interesting type of new collaboration that you can do via the blockchain that wasn't possible any other way. And kind of talking with the artist, a more traditional artist who hasn't worked via with the blockchain or worked with anything related to NFTs, we can work together with them and really describe to them why it's interesting. And Hector, he came on board and he's like, this is actually amazing. I wanted to basically have more direct engagement with the audience, let them really take control of kind of some of my artwork, but make it their own as well. So it makes it, I mean, I think in his own words, he said it's like a playful way to experience and kind of co-create with my art. So maybe hold on, I think there's some background noise. Brock, do you want to maybe take it from here?
Yeah, so basically, as Jasper was saying, we see ourselves as somewhat between a gallery and a new kind of art producer or art house that is working with more traditional artists to find interesting ways to use blockchain technology and NFTs as a sort of a new creative platform for them to develop their practice into the digital space, with Hector being the first one, and really every project and the new projects that we're working on now being sort of bespoke and really tailored to the artist's intentions and motivations and aesthetic. And the two things that we're trying to do really is bridge the digital and the physical spaces in a way that they enrich each other and are sort of bidirectional. I'll mention this on another element of this project in a second. And leveraging blockchain technology as a interactive platform. So in this case, creating an event that evolves over time, and the canvases that are revealed are a result of also chance, but also your decision to lock or other participants' owners' decisions to lock, and it becomes sort of this shared experience. One interesting aspect of the project on the physical side, sort of completing the circle, is the canvas cutouts. So Hector cuts the canvases by hand, and they are all hand painted. He actually is magically somehow capable of cutting perfect circles with an X-Acto knife. We have that, I think we have that maybe here on the artist page of our website. It's truly unbelievable, just going with an X-Acto knife and ended up with a perfect circle. But the cutouts are collected, and the canvases that are included in the whole picture event, the cutouts from those are, these are all the canvases. I'll go back to cutouts. The cutouts are collected and signed, and if at the end of the event, you end up with a canvas for which we have one of these signed cutouts, you're automatically entered into a raffle so that you can get the physical signed piece framed, and there is a physical element of ownership to the project as well.
All right, that's about time because we got a full agenda.
Sure.
But yeah, thanks a lot, guys. When is this launching?
So it's live now. You can head to the website. It's just strata.gallery. And yeah, they're available for purchase. And then this is just, as Brock was saying, it's the first of many projects we're doing. So we're continuing to think about how we can kind of work with other artists to expand on one of their concepts. Like this is, for this idea will only be this project, but all future projects will be kind of designed around concepts by the artists. But yeah, just thanks so much for having us on. And we're really interested in thinking how we can and work with Rarible in the future to kind of maybe integrate with the new protocol. We've already talked with Eric briefly about some of the asset matching looks interesting. So maybe something there with like liquidity pools of artworks that can match between each other. But yeah, thanks for having us on and letting us demo.
Yeah,
But yeah, please check it out
with you all.
And let us know if you have questions. You can contact us. Thanks afterwards.
Share the link in the chat here so people can check it out. All right, great. So I have two quick proposal updates. I'll just share them in the chat because I can do that. Hopefully that works. So there's an auction mechanism proposal by Ali, and then a proposal by Max to help out with some columns. Sorry. So yeah, thanks guys. Just take a look at those, comment, provide feedback. It'll be appreciated. Sorry, I got a cough. All right. Alex, are you around?
Yep, I am.
Hey, do you want to give a brief update on things going on with Rarible, protocol wise or website wise? Any updates there?
Yep, sure. So what we're actually doing right now is we are finishing our protocol integration to Rarible. We believe that it will be live next week with all the cool stuff such as lazy minting, which is already like supported on the protocol to be actually mapped to the marketplace. So our biggest like hope is that like lazy minting will bring us a lot of new creators because it's free. Also, you might check out the payment with a credit card on beta.rarible.com. I guess in connection with lazy minting, that makes us completely native to the beginners audience, to the crypto beginners audience. We also released the feature for hiding and unhiding tokens, which is useful for everybody who's been on the leaderboard. People start to spam you with their tokens instantly, and you don't want to show them. And the nice extension of that feature would be to automatically block, to automatically hide items that got a high hide rate. So that's like an anti-spam filter. But we want to basically eliminate that culture completely because it's great to gift your NFTs, but not to spam. So those are great additions to the protocol team, to the marketplace. And on the protocol side, since we are like actively moving our marketplace to the protocol, we've developed actually a couple useful interfaces. I've spoken about them on last Friday. So we've implemented several helper functions, and basically the front end can now be almost agnostic of the orders. So if you want to create an order, you're using the helper function from the protocol that gives you the signed message and an actual the transfer proxy address for which you need to make an approval. And you're making an approval, you're sending a message, you're sending that to the protocol. And then when you want to match an order, so to accept a bid or to buy an item, again, you're calling helper function that gives you the matching order that you just want to submit to the protocol. And we also built the prepare cancel transaction that is also a helper function that builds you a cancel transaction. So yeah, a lot of helper functions. The protocol is getting better and better, and we'll be deploying production version of that, and we'll be ready to tackle on layer 2.
Super cool. Thanks, Alex. Don't worry if you didn't understand some of that last part. I'm sure there's a lot of non-devs in here who glazed over. That's normal. All right. So moving on. So we have the Rarible DAO Twitter account that we started using. What I'd love to do is follow all of you and know like who in the community is part of the ecosystem on Twitter, so we can give shout outs or something like that. So if you guys can share your Twitter handles, and also if you want to follow each other, that'd be cool too. But yeah, just would really like to like connect on the social network. So if you can share that, or if you don't want to share it publicly for whatever reason, I don't know why, just send it to me. But that'd be great. My Twitter handle here. I'll just I'll put it here, and if you guys
Oh,
want to
Eric.
share, feel free to share.
Yeah, maybe they could follow the Twitter account and then we'll follow them back.
Oh right, yeah, that's a good idea. Why not do that? Rarible DAO
At
is
Rarible DAO.
at Rarible DAO. So yeah, just want to share all of you and kind of make the community more intertwined on socials. All right, so we have about 20 minutes. I'm gonna jump into what we've been doing with the DAO design and the stages of DAO evolution. So where we are right now is we've been working on, you know, creating this community. Like, thanks everyone who are here. I mean, it's super valuable to have everyone here. So super appreciated. And so we've been working on creating like a culture and an independent, you know, community of builders and creators and you know, I don't know, whatever else you guys are interested in, really. And so that's been going good. But the DAO itself, I mean, we're still using Snapshot, and hopefully the idea is that we're going to progress to a more decentralized version of the DAO fairly soon. So the end goal is really a fully decentralized DAO where, you know, you have either token-based voting or some form of delegation, an open proposal process where anyone can submit proposals, and, you know, on-chain voting, and some sort of process where we would you know, decide on proposals if things are good or not. So that's the end state, and so we're slowly getting there. And the next phase that we're rolling out is staking and delegation. So with staking and delegation, it'll allow token holders to stake their Rari tokens and delegate their voting power to someone, potentially people from this community who, you know, have been involved or in the weeds. They know like how things are working. I would hope that a lot of people in the community would become delegates. And then those delegates would vote on proposals and help steer, you know, the movement of the DAO in the direction of the DAO. So I'm just gonna, that's just an overview. So I'll share with you kind of what I've been working on that front. So let's see. Okay, so can you guys all see this? Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. So, all right, so the desired end state is to have a large number of high quality contributors that work in a permissionless and open environment, which means there's, you know, there's no borders, anybody can contribute. That's accessible and simple for outside folks to get involved in. Ideally, we make great decisions on proposals. You know, we don't want, you know, really bad decisions. And I just want to make sure I keep an eye on the chat. And we want to empower people to you know, sort of like make decisions and be empowered to make decisions through voting delegation. And we also want all these people to co-own the network. You know, it's very important that you know, we all have a piece in the network we're aiming to grow. So that's kind of like the goals. If you have any comments or questions, or, you know, I missed anything, just, you know, this is a work in progress, so nothing is finalized here. So the way that I've drawn this out here, so you have token holders, which, you know, they're a certain crowd. They're going to be delegating their votes to stewards, and then those stewards are going to be the ones who are basically voting on proposals. That anyone can submit proposals, and these stewards are the ones who are voting ultimately. The vote results are executed by members of Gnosis Safe. And so that voting process, there's going to be some sort of process there, probably like posting in the forum, you know, a certain number of days, and like the stewards are going to be responsible for enforcing those social rules. Like if someone posts directly on Snapshot, we should probably downvote it unless it's like an urgent change that we need, right? So we're going to have some social rules there around that process. So the overall process is that you know, we're going to have the multi-sig owners that are the ones who execute the proposals, and we're likely going to have a multi-sig signers agreement or some sort of agreement that outlines what they the limitations of their roles and what they can and can't do. Just to make sure that, you know, if we try to do something illegal, like, you know, participate in some like assassination market or something like that, then they're not going to participate. This multi-sig is a temporary process, so ideally we'll move to a DAO, so we don't have to worry about like replacing the multi-sig holders or whatever. I mean, this is just a transition phase. So the delegation of stewards, I think, again, feedback here would be welcome, like should be done on a quarterly basis or on a reoccurring basis, on a cyclical basis. And ideally stewards present like some sort of strategy or plan or program, so that when stakers are staking and delegating into them, they know what they're staking into, right? You know, what are your skills? Are you like more doing marketing stuff, or like are you a developer? Like, what is that? So one question I had was should the stewards be curated by the team, or do we just have open doors to the stewards? I don't know, there's pros and cons there. Anyone can submit proposals to this, and the stewards are responsible for voting. And then staking rewards that we're going to be enabling go to the stakers who have staked their tokens and giving it to the stewards who are participating in governance. And then a question I had, which I don't have the answer to, is how do we ensure delegates have the right skill set so that we cover all the bases? So we have like some marketing folks, some biz dev, some comms, some developers, so that when a proposal comes up, we can actually make good decisions, right? If we're like all marketing folks, and then there's like some technical proposals coming in, like, I mean, we can't make a good decision on that. So we really need like a good mix to ensure that we can actually make good decisions. So in terms of the roadmap, and kind of what I'm seeing is like, okay, we're getting Rarible.com on the protocol. Really like what I'm calling here comms blitz. Like we really need to start getting the word out about what we're doing. And, you know, not many projects actually know like all the activity that's going on in our ecosystem. And so really like a big focus on comms and getting the words out. Internally, we're working, none of these dates, these are all like complete guesses on the dates. Like you know, they need to be really narrowed down. But so staking and delegation, having the UI for that. Internally, we're going to do that. Multi-sig signers agreements. We're going to work on the DAO mission statement and really refine that. And then likely have a call for stewards, you know, probably after a bit like more comms work, so that, you know, we start attracting more people and they're interested in becoming stewards. And then, you know, forming of delegation working groups or some sort of working groups around these areas potentially, so that we know, like, you know, who are some of the groups that are working here. And then working towards having like the initial delegation like launch party, where, you know, delegation starts happening, token holders start delegating, and we can start operating more independently. So there's a lot here. I wanted to, you know, instead of posting this just in the forum, I wanted to go over this and just, you know, start a discussion, get some thoughts. Yeah, we can kind of open it up here and you know, hear what you guys think. It's a lot there, so.
The working group makes sense. It kind of reminds me of like guilds. I think Raid Guild has some similar formation, where there are people who are good or are interested in a certain sector. You know, say for example, marketing. You know, you have all the marketers, you got all the devs. So I think what you're touching on there, Eric, is the importance of diversity of knowledge and experience and skills, so that we can have like a well-rounded decision, you know, to move forward with certain proposals. So um, I like the rough outline right now. I think one question that came for me is like how do we choose the delegates, right? Is there going because to me it sounds like a kind of reminds me of like, the process that we have in the US where, how we vote politicians, these delegates are politicians in some sense, right? You represent, I guess, the bigger public. And so I'm curious, like how we vote, or how that selection process is. Yeah, and I wonder if anyone has like thoughts about that too.
Yeah, I know. Actually, me and Alex had similar conversations. Like, it's starting to feel like a little scary. Like, like at first you start out, you learn about DAOs, and you're like, oh, like these like beautiful cooperatives, and then like when you start getting down to the operations of it, a lot of the DAOs end up looking like our political system, or like really like structured organizations in some way, which is really interesting. So yeah, I totally agree that it's something we need to be careful about and conscious of. I would imagine that the delegation process, happens on a reoccurring basis, and the token holders decide who to delegate to. And as delegates, we have to self-report, like, there's a lot of marketing people getting votes, we need to shift it, or like we would be self-responsible to try to make aware like where our weaknesses are, where we need more support. I think at the end of the day, if we start making bad decisions, then I don't know, they're gonna keep their votes, or they're gonna like, I don't know what's gonna happen. But
is there a fixed number of delegates, or is it just as many delegates? Like if someone gets like 3 votes, they're technically a delegate for those 3 votes, or are there going to be like 5 delegates, 10 delegates? How does that work?
again, a lot of this is fluid, so like there's nothing set in stone. I'm imagining that there wouldn't be any like set number, like anyone who gets some delegate votes is a delegate or a steward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and possibly like term limits, like Mark was saying, as
Right.
far as like politicians, maybe they, if they don't cast a vote within a certain amount of time, they like relinquish their delegate role or something like that. Because, I think for a lot of the voting stuff that I see in DAOs, there's like a couple people that vote and are like really like into it. And then a bunch of people just, oh, wow, this one's winning, let me just say yes to it, but they're not like really conscious of what they're saying yes to. And then the aspect of like who those people are, I think is really important. That's a challenge. I know like Raid Guild was doing something to like this idea. It's not just Raid Guild. I think it was a couple other people with like this skill tree idea where certain people are like given, which the conversations in that are just more in depth as well, but maybe there's an ability where as a more a little bit centralized in the sense where Rarible can say, okay, well, these individuals, let's interview them. Like, let's say Mark interviews them, or, Eric, you interview them and say, well, I think these people are like really powerful in marketing or really powerful in devs. And you kind of highlight them, but it's, it's not really, it's like an interview, and like it's your take on that person, like a summary, or those people might be effective without having like something more like completely decentralized. But I think for me, most importantly, like if somebody doesn't vote, like they would remove, you have to incentivize people to like really be delegates and spend the time to like research and coordinate and stuff. But those are my thoughts. I think it's pretty cool though.
Thanks. Yeah, I think on that note, like I think self-reporting is going to be very important to remain accountable. So like I'd imagine that like we're going to form like a core team that on a monthly basis issues out reports on the delegates, like, and says like, here are the delegates who haven't been participating at all over the last quarter. Like you should change your delegation strategy accordingly. Right. Like, I mean, we should really be like very vocal about self-reporting and accountability.
An interesting thought on that could be like there's this thing called I can't remember exactly what it's called. Maybe it's ranked voting or like something like
Conviction
that, where
voting?
essentially what is it?
Conviction voting?
Yeah, no, I think that might be it. Yeah, where you like you have your primary like vote and then like your secondary, and if the primary like vote doesn't like go through because they were like out, they didn't get enough votes, then your vote goes to the secondary. Like if you could have a system where maybe you could choose multiple, you have the primary where you put all of your like shares or your tokens for voting to that delegate. But then like if they don't participate, like if they don't vote, then like their share or control gets slashed and then gets distributed to your secondary choices for each person who delegated to that initial one over, I don't know, this could be whatever period of time.
Interesting.
But just a thought on maybe automating it more.
Mhm.
Think another thought that I have is like, how do we include, if we go by the analogy of like his, say a political sort of like formation, right? Where there are delegates, like how do we ensure that we also represent the citizens, right? Do we have like a citizen, part of the delegate, and that could be
Totally.
a average user,
100%. It's actually, that's a really good point. It's like, how do we ensure representation of the users of Rarible platform? Like right now, actually, I didn't include that in like the buckets, but that's a very good point. I'll make that change.
Yep. Rarible users receive weekly drops, and it would be nice for them to delegate to somebody who they believe represents them.
Totally.
On the Louise comment, so there would be a staking reward, and the reward is given to an account only if he or his delegate participated in all the votings that happened. So if your delegate doesn't participate, you better change him because he's losing your money. So I guess that can work. On the conviction voting, actually, Eric, so I think we have a nice strategy. So when you stake your tokens to receive voting power, your stake with like you don't stake all your tokens, but you stake them in parts. So you can have different stacks of tokens staked. For example, you have 100 tokens, you can stake them in 5 stacks by 20 tokens. And then you can delegate each stack. So you kind of can distribute your voting power across several delegates. I guess it would be nice to, okay, I have some rares and I want to delegate them to somebody technical, as well as to somebody who's really good in marketing, as well as who is representing the users. And I create the outline of my votes. And then like I go stand by and these people like making the decisions. And if I see that they make bad decisions, and there has to be a lot of visibility.
Yeah.
If I see them making bad decisions, I can redelegate. Even before the auction is, or even before the voting is closed, ideally.
Totally. Yeah, I think accountability and transparency are going to be key to ensure it doesn't become a popularity contest, to ensure we make good decisions, to ensure, all these things. So yeah, I'll post this in the forum. Would love to hear comments, thoughts. Really, thanks everyone for showing up to the call and listening in. Really looking forward to more participation from all of you in different ways, and looking forward to collaborating. So thanks everyone. Time's up. We'll see you guys next week. We have a
Thanks,
dev call
guys.
tomorrow as well.
Hey.
See ya.